Hi, I'm Jenn with PepperHarrow. After our seed starting tour a couple weeks ago, y'all had questions about how to start Bupleurum and Larkspur from seed. So I'm going to go through the process of how I start Bupleurum and Larkspur from seed, and I hope it helps inspire you or gives you some ideas of some different ways that you can implement to make sure that you get those particular seeds started. They can be a little tricky, so if you've struggled, you're not alone. I've struggled for a long time and I finally mastered it, and I'm going to be able to share that with you all today. The trick with both of those seeds is that they need a little bit of cold stratification. I'll walk you through the process of how I do that, and then Bupleurum specifically also needs a little bit of darkness to germinate as well. I'll walk you through that secondary process after we cover off on the cold stratification. The first thing I do when I get my seeds in the mail is I stick them immediately in the refrigerator. And I'm going to show you, I have a special shelf in there. Here's my shelf where I keep my seeds here. Right now I currently have Bupleurum in there, but usually I'll end up sticking in my Larkspur too. So that's the first thing I do. I stick them in the refrigerator. I let them sit in there for about 2 weeks. And then I'm going to take you and show you step number 2. Okay. Next step is I usually fill up a 72 tray with a little bit of seed starting medium. I put the seeds that I pulled out of the refrigerator into my little cell trays here, and then I put my cell trays outside, and I usually put them outside when it's cold out. Think 32 degrees or less. So absolutely below freezing, and then I usually try to, if there's snow on the ground, I usually try to shovel up snow and I put them on top of my little seed trays here. I want to make sure that my little seedlings get nice and chilled, extremely chilled, more than the refrigerator could do. I usually leave them outside for about 2 weeks underneath the snow, and hopefully by that time we get a nice day that kind of melts some of the snow into the little seed trays so that we don't have to bring them inside. But that's the next step. After they've sat out there for a couple weeks, I bring them back inside, back into my seed starting area. Here's some of my Larkspur. I've had it in under grow lights for about a week and a half, and you can see how great it's looking. My Bupleurum is kept on a bottom shelf on my grow light racks that doesn't actually have lights on it. Bupleurum likes to germinate in some darker conditions, so you can see how good the little seedlings look coming up. They're all starting to pop up, and I recommend if you're gonna bring it in, make sure you just pop another bottom tray on top. That makes sure that it gives it a little bit more dark so that it can do a better job of doing its germination process. If you struggle with germinating Bupleurum and Larkspur, you're not alone. I struggled with those two for a very long time. I'm sure other growers struggle with those as well. Hopefully seeing the process that I use here at PepperHarrow gives you some ideas of some tips and tricks that you can use to implement into your seed starting process for these two kind of tricky ones. If you have any questions or comments, please comment them below. And of course, if you like this video, please click like and consider subscribing. Thanks for joining.